No way. Oh, shit. Crap. All right. I think I'm going to restart. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think I figured it out. That's it. H T T P S semicolon semicolon dash stream yard dot com slash yx g c 2 y 6 7. Okay. Bear with me. It's gonna go blank again. Bear with me. All right, we're figuring it out. All right, all right. I should be all right now. Sorry about that. Trying to get it all figured out. Sorry about that. So, for those of you that are bearing with me, I am going to start with the sounds. Commercial CBD lotion. Just helps with the bowels. Thank you. Argonaut energy. Well, all right. All right. Joyous Saturday morning. I'm sorry for the interruption. I'm trying to do something. As you know, I'm supposed to have PJ on, so I sent out the link, I think. Couldn't figure out how to directly send it to him. It's supposed to pop up, and then you just send the link when you see the email. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come on or not, but we'll see. Because I did send him the link, but I don't know if that's the right link. So just bear with me. Just still going to have a little fun tonight. Okay. Better. All right. Even better. Okay. All right, we'll have some fun. If he can come in, that'd be great. If he can't come in, we'll work on it another day to try to get it in. So, yeah. So for those who have never checked me out before, I go by Big Pontiac. I'm also known as A Wind. I'm also known as the Time Lord. So, hey, I'll email the link like last time. Okay. Okay. Because that's not what it offered. So bear with me. It's going to go black again. Bear with me. All right. Okay. So here we go. I think I can get it here. All right. Let's try that. Okay. Not cool. Definitely not cool, but not unexpected. Oh. Okay, didn't knock the whole operation down. This is Gadget Night. All right. Let's try this again. All right. All right. Still gonna go at it. So, sent it out the way I could to see if he can join. Hope he can. Yeah, so I sent it out. It's not allowing me to send it out like I sent it out before, which I am quite surprised. So again, my introduction, I am Big Pontiac. Welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I hope I can get PJ to come in, but maybe not. I don't know if it's the right way to send the link. Just so glad to have my son help me with that, because before it just pops up where you can just send the link. I guess because I'm using this device, it's a little different and a little more than what I know how to do at this point. I thought it was going to be a lot easier, because last time I did it on this, it was a lot easier. But so please forgive me if I can't get it in. But this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host, A-Win, or Big Pontiac. I am also the holder of the Sacred Infinite ball game created by the Hero Twins. And I'm gonna stop right there and pause for a second, because this is something I haven't shared that I think is worth sharing. This part is definitely worth sharing. So we see a lot of things that we don't think would be part of or a ball field for us. As I've said before, ball fields are also considered part of creation. And the Americans are the only one that look at it like this. We look at our games as something sacred. So I say that, as I always talk about, the mounds are generally in a park. If you look at the way the mounds are put, the mounds are generally in the park. Look at even the snake mound. It is in like a park setting. So as we saw them build these kind of structures, and especially the big pyramids in America and South America, you can see that they're all in a park-like structure. And my point is this: as I say I pray, some of my last prayers as I stand next to my mound, and then from the mound I step onto the terrace. Well, again, the terrace would still be within what would be considered the ball field. But something else you probably don't understand and how it's moved, and there's two examples, is a flying carpet. What is the shape of a flying carpet they usually show you? You know, y'all watched Aladdin. You mean, not the crowd to watch me. Y'all watched Aladdin. What is it? It's like a rug, ain't it? What's the shape of most rugs, especially throw rugs, especially magic carpets? They're the shape of a ball field if you really look at them. Let me even go further. Remember, what is it, War of the Gods? You know, the fake story that had all these Germans. They got all the Germans and all these different people supposed to be from Kemet. You know, these Europeans playing like they from Kemet. But if you remember Ptah came and fought the lizard every night. Do you remember his vehicle? And his vehicle is actually a copy of what the Time Walkers, their brass vehicles. But again, the same shape. Go back and look at it. It's the same shape. So just wanted to add that. I mean, look at the prayer rugs. Look at the prayer rugs. What are the prayer rugs? You look at in Islam, the prayer rugs. Same shape. So wanted to add that. And I am also your Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio, from Minnesota to the universe. And tonight, I'm drinking pretty good. This is a beer I discovered in Missouri. You know, I was down there on the border, Missouri, Arkansas, and told my local people about it. He's like, "You want that? When you coming back?" I said, "I'll be back probably Friday." Said it'll be here. Sure enough, he had it. This is a very strong stout. It's a very strong stout, 0.9%, which is like Budweiser is 0.49 or 5%. So higher alcohol. This is what real beer tastes like. Don't you wish you were me? Don't you wish you were me? Don't you wish you were me? Look at that just golden goodness as it comes out the bottle. Ooh. Look at that. The perfect pour. The perfect pour. Oh, I'm gonna have some fun tonight, y'all. I'm gonna have some fun tonight. So maybe he can't get in on that link I sent him. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to figure that out, and we'll set up another time. And I'm so sorry. So sorry. But let me greet each and every one of you that have come in. Brother Key, what's happening? Brother Jay, thank you for the kind words. The One, thank you for joining. And I know Brother PJ, I don't know if I sent him the right link or he can get in like that. Dread, what's happening? Smooth mix, light skin goodness, what's happening? Oh, that's just instructions. Okay, I'm going to have my son help me figure it out. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get it out. Because that's the link it said to, yeah, it was instructions. But from my understanding, it was telling me to take that and put it into the clipboard. So what the fuck is the clipboard? That's what I couldn't figure out. Because I looked like to send you attachment. That's what I naturally thought. It would just be attachments to send to you. And none of the attachments with that came up. So I'm not really sure how to do it. So I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Because before, when I did it on this device, it's still the same way. You just hit guest and it would come up the email. And it's saying I got to put it to the clipboard to send it out to you. So not sure how to do that. Not sure how to do that. So I am sorry about that. Very sorry. It's kind of pumped up. We talked about an hour on the telephone. I was thinking, man, we talked so much on the phone. But so let's try it again tomorrow if you can, because I'm not sure how to send it to you because it's not popping up. Just because normally I should just be able to put your email in there, because usually you hit guest and then they come to me and then it says put your email in there. Then I would put your email and then it would kick it, because now your email is in, so it's in the system and it's not doing that. So I'm sorry. I really don't know how to send it to you. Thought that worked. Man, my face looks greasy when I got this lotion on my face. But I want to show you guys something. Now, look at this hat. Ain't that shit funky? That shit is so tight. Look at that shit. But look at the way that little hat, look how smooth that is. Yeah, I'm disappointed, PJ, but thank you for understanding, because I tried, but it's not working with me. So you see that? That's neat. That's neat. Now, a little history. Let me show you a little Negro League history. I got to send both of these to the cleaners. And I've wore these, maybe not on this channel, but on the other channel. This is a Chicago jersey. And you see, this is wool. Hot as fuck. But let me see. Now, I had the hat before. The hat's kind of ugly. It's a CA combination, kind of like what the California Angels. Now, this one I've never had a hat for. I've been too lazy to send it on Pinterest. And this is a zip. And this is from 1948. This other jersey is from, both of these jerseys are from the 1948 All-Star game. There's a picture, and I'll show you something, but this is the New York Cubans. I've never had this hat, and they didn't have a hat. They didn't have a recent hat. And I've had these for about 14 years. I need to take them to the dry cleaners and get them cleaned off. Spilled some shit on them. So it led to me getting this hat. That's not the good part, though. The good part is the jersey. This is the back of the jersey. Look at that shit. All stitched. Look at that shit. Health. And look at the little hat on the sleeve here. So give me a second. There we go. You saw me turn into the super funky hero right in front of your very eyes. I should have bought the shorts. Now that's the thing I like about these is this is definitely mesh summer material. You can also, you can wear a t-shirt under this, with sleeves. So you can wear this all year round. Hard hitting. Thank you for joining me. Ooh, Brian. Brian's sellout. It's kind of funny. Still sticking with sports. Couple things. They let Watson. They let Watson. They saying Watson ain't gonna face no criminal charge. So you see what it was from the very beginning. It was a money grab. It was a money grab, and these commissioners are too quick to sit brothers down for a whole year. Look at what they did to Adrian Peterson. When Adrian Peterson and they did that all brouhaha that he beat his child so bad. Do you know how many whippings a 3-4-year-old deserve? My little boys, they lucky they was alive by the time they was 4. They got so many ass whoopings. I mean, they tell you. I come home to the apartment one day, there's my 4-year-old standing in the fucking window 2 stories up. Standing in the little window. He done pushed the screen back. He's standing on the ledge 2 stories up at 4 years old. They took a season away from that man in the prime of his career. And look how he had to scrounge and getting bounced around, shamed by all these different teams. Got to play when he ain't really got it no more because he missed that peak of his career. Soon he said he didn't want to play for Texas after all this happens. Of course, look where they went after him. They went after him in Texas. And the civil suit is still going on. The civil suit. No criminal, but they got enough to sue. And remember, civil is not majority. So we see almost like what was done to Bill Cosby, almost. But definitely what was done to Adrian Peterson. Yeah, definitely what was done to Adrian Peterson, the same thing. Same thing that was done to Adrian Peterson, we see done to him. Took a year. Now, quarterback is a little different. Sitting out a year to quarterback actually will help you get healthy. But not a running back. Clock is against you. The season before, he almost broke the single season rushing record. And they purposely didn't let him break it. I don't know what they got against him, but they purposely didn't let him break it. he got something like 3-4 yards. We saw Jefferson denied a rookie record, but Peterson 3-4 yards. Let me see what PJ say. They needed that spanking. That's what's wrong with the children today. Absolutely. Shit. I spanked them out of the penitentiary. Ain't that what Eddie Griffin said? I hope he just ends up winning the Super Bowl after the situation. Yeah. I mean, my children were horrible. My 2 little boys, again, they're special needs children, and yeah, they were specially needing ass whooping. Shit, my brother, Thoth and the Serpent. My brother was in that vein of them, where he needed his ass whooped every day. He won't. He'll tell you he was just as rambunctious as my little ones, probably in the same vein. My mother was mean, but my mother loved to whoop ass, and my mother whooped a lot of ass. Now, fortunately, he got a lot of more ass whoopings than me at a certain point. But there was a point we were probably hand in hand whooping both our ass equal. One time I caught some shit on fire. I'm kind of a little club, a pyromaniac in some ways. I burned a lot of shit down. At 2nd grade, I did burn down what do you call apartments where they got the garages, and they each got their own bin? Yeah, I burned down about 10 cars in a garage. Yeah. Fucking around, found some matches and lit some dry weeds. And the next thing I know, a goddamn side of the garage was on fire. I immediately sprinted home and went to sleep at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're like, is he sick? What's wrong? Yeah, so I'm not innocent. But I did catch a rug on fire, fucking with some candles. We had won some candles in the fair, and I fucked around and lit the candles on fire. And for some reason, something told me to stick an ink pen in the candles, and melted the ink pen, and the ink pen got on the goddamn rug and caught the rug on fire. And my mother whooped my ass. I think she whooped my brother's ass too, because I think that was just for because he was fucking around too. He wasn't in the fire, but I think she whooped both our asses, even though he was probably innocent. It was mostly me. It's crazy how they want to discipline your kids and institutionalize. Oh, well, the thing is and this is one thing where, people's really true message get fucked up. Like Umar Johnson was right when he said the way they want to treat children. Let me give you a prime example of what Umar Johnson pointed out and what I saw from my own child. So down here where I live, Prior Lake, Minnesota, is mostly European. It's something like 90%. Now, there are a group of Somalians, very few Hmong, but it's some. And natives. Well, one thing they do is if you get on any kind of trouble on the buses and you got IEP and you get in any trouble, they kick you off the school bus. And then they pay the state. The state has people that will pick you up. Now, my son was in a situation where he had to sit up front. His brother and his girlfriend at the time, she lit up a blackie mild on the bus. They blamed my younger son. So from then on, he had to sit up front. Well, of course, the people in the back just fucking with him, sitting up front. And, he's the kind of cat, he couldn't take it. And so he stood up and moved. He just went to another seat, but while the bus was moving. So they kicked him off the bus. He had to be picked up. But I see the 2 little melanated people live across the street from me going through the same thing. They got their little private thing coming to get them. It's 2 twins, young man and a young woman. But my point is where Umar Johnson was right and where he spoke to truth to power was they were trying to first get IEP on your child, show everybody that they're kind of a problem, but on the other side, get the help that they need, no doubt. They struggle in one of the subjects, that kind of stuff it'll help you have a plan to educate your children as much as they can be educated. So, Hard Hidden, what's happening? Know the rules, laws, and use it against everybody. Yeah, they'll tell you, you touch me and I'm gonna call. Yeah, I'm still gonna beat your ass. You ain't gonna get here. You ain't gonna call before you get your ass beat. That's what I've told my children. I'm like, let's play that game. Let me beat your ass or get to you, and then you call the peoples. Your ass gonna already be beaten. They gonna see. I'm like, hey, this is the situation. I've had police come to the house and like, this is what the fuck this little motherfucker did. Police was like, they needed that shit. Absolutely. Give you another instance. Give you another instance. My child broke a big picture window. I mean, double paned. He threw a big boulder through that broke both fucking windows. That shit would have cost me about $400. If the people would have sued me, it would have cost me about $400 to replace. But imagine if he threw the rock and it hit somebody. It's almost criminal neglect. And that's what scared me more than anything about the situation. It was like he was almost in trouble. I couldn't even help him. Now later, when he got in trouble, I was able to help him because I was familiar with what he was going through. I was kind of familiar, and I made sure he landed soft as we possibly could make him. But in that instance, it was like I beat him because it was like you almost did some shit so foul that it was gonna put you in jeopardy of going somewhere. Oh, D still, what's happening? If I didn't give you standing ovation. I always had an agenda for kids. You remember the orphanage epidemic or children working factories? Shit. They didn't stop children from working until shit, what, 19 up to 1920, some shit like that, where they went on them strikes and was fighting the corporations. Education, indoctrination school is nothing but a daycare. Wow. They teach us bullshit and lies. A lot of it is. Fuck the whole system in a way, yeah. Much love and respect, big homie. Love the platform. Thanks for everything. Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, your children need IEP. They need a plan. It's nothing to shame. But Dr. Johnson talked about that. He talked about how they want to put these children on medication and medicate these children. Shit, my child said he would take that shit, and he said the whole like where there was schools near me, but Proper Minneapolis has a program where you can go send the children out. It's not force busing anymore, but they have kind of almost contracts with the other schools. And so you pretty much could, like my children went to Hopkins, but it took them damn near 45 minutes or longer to get to school every day. I mean, it was, 30 miles away. I mean, literally the school was 30 miles away. Like if I had to go pick them up, it's going to take me a half hour to drive out there. But it was like we had started them schools, and it was a good benefit. But he would say he would stay foggy until probably lunch. So he'd take the pill in the morning and he would stay foggy till lunch. My other son didn't want to eat because that should make you don't want to eat. And he would get headaches from not eating. So finally I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not going to have my son suffering headaches from this fucking medication. You guys just fucking deal with him. And he was hard to deal with. When he was in kindergarten, I had to spend the last 2 months. Young teacher had it with that motherfucker. She's like, I can't control this motherfucker. Like, yeah, he needs ass whoopings. And so him sitting there, he knew I would whoop his ass right there. So he straightened up them last couple months. He liked his teacher. He just it was hard for him to sit. That ADD shit, they need to be stimulated. Like when they came out with them fidget spinners and that kind of shit. Stimulate children. Have something to keep them going. That old way of just sit there and be quiet or follow along, everybody can't do that. Last year when my daughter was in school, one thing I loved that they did is the teacher had different sitting positions. He had a beanbag you could sit on, he had a reclining chair, and everybody rotated. Of course, he had long tables, but there were no desks. And as I've told this story before, I first saw that kind of thing in the 80s. This was the first time I ever saw it practiced. I learned about that shit in the 80s. But thank you for the kind words, hard hitting. Thank you for the very kind words. Yeah, exactly. Then when the child can't sit still in his chair while being fed lies. Yeah, and they want to make them little speed junkies. And that's what they do. They make them little speed junkies. Make them want speed. Make them like drinking coffee. You know, that up feeling. Because that's the next thing. It's the same as drinking coffee. Kind of got off the subject. But yeah, getting back to Watson. As I said, Watson, that was a psyop they pulled on him. Clearly a psyop. Clearly took a year of his career, which again, quarterback healing, not so bad. Somebody showed Kaepernick still trying. That was one of the better videos I made before they took down my other channel. Is showing his lack of skill. I mean, it's just like he just didn't have the skill. Now, of course, just like RG3, RG3 ended up couldn't take the beating. Kind of what almost ended Michael, and the same was done to Michael Vick. Michael Vick was shamed at the peak of his career. Remember, he had just beat Green Bay the year before. This man was about to be a monster. And then a dude that he carried on his team turned state's evidence. Dude that Mike had took care of. Look it up. Look up the court files. Look who the person that really put Mike in jail. And as I said many times, it was two dudes who were second offenders in the same county, same charges as Mike. They got $500 fines. So you see, it was agenda destroyed. And remember, he's on Fox. You think it's a coincidence he's on Fox? It's not a coincidence. What the fuck is on my glass? My glass is wobbling, y'all. Laying it down and the shit is wobbling. So, this is part of it. And another thing that was interesting is Popovich. Popovich got 133. What was it? What did I write down? 1336. A lot like 33-degree Mason. A lot like 666. So you see how they play with these numbers? And I think they all end up 13. Yeah. They all end up at 13. If you add them all up, 13. So I just thought that was a message. And again, he's Army intelligence, if you didn't know. That's why he had all them foreign players. He's Army intelligence already. Why is a person with an Army intelligence background involved in pro basketball? You telling me everybody there, nobody could the hit for Vic. Exactly. The dude who's turned state's evidence was somebody Mike took care of. Them niggas was living in a mansion. He wasn't living there. They was living in a mansion. Or I'll say a 4,000 square foot house where they had all the dogs in the back. Wasn't like they was living bad. These niggas was living good. And nigga turned state's evidence. In Green Bay too. The funny thing is, my boy was doing electrical work at Vic's compound in Virginia. They stole one of the pit puppies a year prior of him getting in that trouble. Wow. So they was setting it up a year before. But look at the two dudes who got in trouble the second time. They ain't go to prison. And to me, prison is the perfect place to work out. Shit, they had the Burt Reynolds movie, the Adam Sandler movie, got football teams in prison. He couldn't have played prison football? Now that gets me, I know this is off subject, but that's something I never understood about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was in prison for years. Rob, what's this nigga's name that fought Ali? Ron Lucas? It'll come to me. Ron something. They showed this nigga fighting in prison on Wild World of Sports on ABC. They put the cameras like they did that movie when you had Vin Rings and Wesley Snipes, and it was similar to Mike Tyson, that kind of thing, where they showed it on TV or showed it, yeah. Ron Lyle. That's his name, Ron Lyle. When Ron Lyle was still in prison, they was letting Ron Lyle have fights on TV because he was the top prison fighter. And Wild with the Sports took them cameras up into prison. Now, if you look at Herschel Walker, who's running for senator in Georgia, Herschel said he did 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups a day. If you're in prison, why aren't you doing that? Why would you not work out in prison? Why aren't you boxing, shadow boxing, sparring? Why didn't nobody try to take no cameras up in prison to do one of his fights? So do you see how it probably was fake? You see how it probably was fake? Oh, there, my boy Lorenzo. What's happening? What's happening? Thank you for joining me. Undisputed. That's the name of the movie. That's right. Ooh. Oh, thank you. Thank you, hard hitting. Yeah. So, I mean, this just tells you that some of this shit can't be real. It just can't be real. It was done in one period. They could have easily did it in this other period. And so he would have came out in better shape instead of rusty. Prison is the perfect place to work out. You can't tell me that there wasn't a gym there that he couldn't have bought a heavy bag. He couldn't have bought the other kind of bag, the speed bag. You couldn't have told me he couldn't bring all this stuff in. Ain't nobody trying to smuggle no guns in no heavy bag. It would have been easily to accommodate him. Telling me he was a rapist, convicted rapist, which I don't think, because again, she went after him civilly too. So you saw it was a money thing. So it was a money grab and set up. It was a total money grab even by Don King. Don King knew that he put him in that position. Don King was the puppet master and all that. Don King knew that he had rights to, he had a power of attorney. Mike gave him power of attorney to $100 million, which he stole all and only had to pay $30 million back. So you see, the whole thing was a setup. And as I said before, the Kennedy boy had got off by Roy Black. Roy Black had got the Kennedy boy off. But you notice Tyson trial, they got a clerk lawyer, and meaning a lawyer who didn't try cases. That's who Don King gave him, a lawyer who didn't try cases. Are you telling me Roy Black didn't want to go back on court TV again and beat some other shit? Tupac too. Watson found innocent, as we all knew. The feminists probably very mad. Of course they are, but they're still going after the money. So it shows you what it's all about. So we see what it's all about. It's all a money grab. It was all a money grab. Did y'all catch baseball? Baseball is going to kind of do what hockey does. You know, if in hockey, and I don't even want to talk about how much money I lost today. Hope I can keep my thought, but I lost about $400. I spent about $300, but I did win about $200. So, but my Wild lost in a shootout because after the first overtime, they go into a shootout and they lost the shootout 1-0. But starting this season, I don't know. I think it was just National League and maybe the whole league, but I'm not sure. Not sure which they're going to do it. But extra innings are going to be decided by a home run derby. And that's some shit. I don't know if y'all heard that. So instead of going extra innings, the motherfuckers going to go so many innings, and if it ain't decided, the motherfuckers ain't tired, then they can hit homers to see who wins. So I don't know who pitches that shit. Would you say Tyson and Buster Douglas was the biggest upset to this day? No, I say Leon Spinks Ali probably was a bigger upset than that. I say Leon, and then Ali beating Liston. You know, of course, most of his title fights were fixed, but Ali beating Liston too. Read my soul. What's happening? What's happening? Thank you for joining. Man, I ain't even figured out. Read my soul. I haven't even figured out how to send that shit to you yet. So please forgive me. I tried to work it out with PJ, could not get it done. So I gotta talk to my son to figure out how to do it. Yeah, rig reality. That sounds ridiculous. Exactly. Home run derby. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what they came up with after that. That's what I saw them run on the ticker. It's home run derby to decide overtime games. But Read My Soul is here, and he is the sneaker guy, so I'm gonna have a little fun. I am in love with Adidas. I have 6 pair now. But I copped these joints today, and these are the Spider Mitchell 3s. Comfortable in a motherfucker. They call it lightweight now instead of bounce. They call it light strike. And this is the red colorway. I've got the higher version. I got to take these back though, because with my where I get the word dyslexia. I'll show you how this shit be working with me. You can see that shit. See, it says 12 and a half men and 13 and a half women. Yeah. When I looked at it, it said 13. So I'm taking these motherfuckers back. 12 and a half just doesn't fit me. I almost bought the new LeBrons. I had a pair of new LeBrons at the outlets. Still $200. But they was 12 and a half and comfortable, but yeah, little snug. But the other pair, I got the white ones. You see these motherfuckers, what they listed at. Let me get in here, not knocking everything over. Here's the price. There we go. Yeah, I got these motherfuckers for 60. But I read my soul. I'm going to show you this. Now, you notice the boxes are distinctively different. This says Bel Air Athletics. And you see it's a little better trim, but they got a pair of shoes like this. They ain't had nothing there. I would have bought these. They got these colorways. So I'm going to have to order them motherfuckers. They ain't had them. And these is just US 13s, yeah. And I picked these up. Again, got these for $60. Because Dick pulled all of them. And basketball shoes was hard to get this past season. They really were. Low, high demand. Now, one thing they do fucked up to the girls' shoes is they put the tie back here. You see, and the tie is kind of far back. But the girls' shoes, like my daughter's shoes, they put the tie back here. I tried on the Dame Dollar. Didn't really like them. They was not as comfortable. Now I almost bought I tried on the LeBron James again. They was 12 and a half, which kind of killing the dogs a little bit. And I'm gonna play pickleball with all 3 of them. It's like pickleball. I'll play a couple games and then change shoes, change socks, play another one. It keeps my feet fresher. I learned that from Ruffin. Check, baby, 1, 2, 3. So I went out to the outlet again today. Adidas are the best. Adidas are the best. You saw the NBA LeBron scare. LeBron scored 50. Yeah, we talked about that. Welcome, Neats. Funny. Thank you for joining. You got the right size. I got to do balance review covered. Okay. Now, yeah, they're comfortable as fuck. They are comfortable as fuck. But I know I was just having a little fun with you tonight. Just having a little fun. But yeah, they are perfect for pickleball. They did have a pair of Kyrie's, and the back wall at the outlet was all 40%. I could have got them LeBrons for, what is that? 20%. It was 20%. So I could have got the LeBrons, what, 178, 179. Again, I can go out to the Mall of America and probably get the same shoe. Might have to speak a little more. Nades, LeBron, took 50. Yeah, he did. He was given 50. They just built new courts. Soon they're put the nets up. And a couple of my boys going to play pickleball, never played. Yeah, that's great. That's great because any shape, any size can play. Um, like here, we don't play in our good courts because the good courts are closed down. But I live near a tennis court where there's 8 pickleball. Well, no, let me get this right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 1, 2. Let me think. 1, 2, 3. There's 6 pickleball courts. But because of the snow, last time I went up there, it was only enough for 2 courts to play. So people up here, we play in the snow and the cold. I mean, if it's, as long as it ain't too windy, it's, cold is nothing. You get to moving. So yeah, we still play. And then my high school teammate, I think they're in California, so he's playing all the time. I was still whoop his ass though once I get back in shape. LeBron wasn't going to let Kuzma and Caldwell beat him. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know why they got rid of him. That makes, yeah, LeBron pads his stats, no doubt. Those fire. I would play pickleball in those. My friends on an instructor. Yeah, I mean, I found out that like I can't play with high tops because what the high tops do is they rub against my Achilles scar. So I didn't really have any issues. And then one day I wore like the LeBron 11, 12s, whatever, the ones with the straps. LeBrons with the straps. I forget which number they were, but I've had them for 3, 4 years. So, but I wore them and my scar where my Achilles got sore, and the doctor's like, yeah, the shoes was rubbing against the scar. So the low cuts they don't rub against my scar. Yep. I still play. I still play LeBron 11s. Okay, yeah. I think the 11 the low cuts, I should grab them and show them, but those were like my favorite. I've tried to re-get them. But those, like I can put my orthotics in them and play. And sometimes, I'll need that extra and sometimes I don't. So, damn, I just get beer in myself. Slob. Like, damn. Do you think you'll see Lion again on the court? Not until they figure out how to teach that dude how to run. ASD, thank you for joining. Yeah, I don't know about if we'll see him again. Yeah, Zion will play again. Well, we'll see. We'll see. They got to teach that dude how to run, and they're so worried about him landing because, again, if you look at it, he runs on the inside of his feet. He kind of turns his shoes up and he runs on the inside of his feet, and he jumps like that. And he's so explosive and so strong. I loved, the way he turned out because him going to the hoop was nice. It was like a point. He was reminding me of Adrian Dantley, but even better than Adrian Dantley because a lot of Dantley was in those short shots. He was going straight to the rack and getting layups like nobody we've ever seen. It was no one could really guard this cat. And then long as you put shooters around a cat like that, he gonna like we saw what the game Randall had. When Randall had that good season, he was going to the rack and he had them shooters. And that's really, what they need is putting them shooters, Browdy. Hey, brother, drop 30 pounds. He better drop 30 pounds, probably so. D-Land. I told you, Foams and Brains is the best shoes for your feet. Foams and Bronze. Yeah, I do like Bronze. They build Zion up. They did. And I talked about his shortcomings. Like all his films in high school, all of them, Duncan. And then he played on the lowest level in South Carolina. To the bag. Yep. Today was the anniversary of the leading getting shut down by the Jazz, and Greg Popovich was shamed with the win. Okay. Anniversary of leading getting shut down by the Jazz. Okay. And Greg Popovich shamed them with the win. Okay, I got you. I understand what you're saying. Good observation. I don't think Zion wants to play in New Orleans. This is a play to get him to New York, probably. probably. And it didn't make sense that New York didn't get to pick. It was like Tim Duncan was supposed to go to Boston. Boston had the worst record, but he can't stay healthy. Well, yeah, if he doesn't get to wait, he doesn't know how to run. And until they figure that out, he's going to always be injured. I mean, already, having them foot problems that destroyed Bill Walton's career, Rick Smith's career, Yao Ming's career, bad feet. I mean, Bill Walton, whatever's in his foot is almost all artificial by now. I mean, them years in Boston, like when he was with the Clippers, when the Clippers were in San Diego, he missed 3-4 seasons in a row, almost like Grant Hill. And I said the other night, Grant Hill damn near died. Y'all remember? He almost died. He had got MRSA while one of his surgeries on his ankle. Foot. Whew, you better blow that shit out. I knew he'd get hurt, but he'll play again. Yeah, he'll play. They'll probably have him playing in the summer league. They'll have him playing in the summer league. Anybody else know the name of that other league they just started for the people that don't want to go to college? I thought it was what did I write? Where did I write that shit? Wrote it somewhere. Don't see where I have it written. But it's a league for dudes who so instead of the G League taking the high school dudes, they got a league they can go in before high school, before the G League. No, it's another league they just started. Hey, Mr. Lamborghini Leg Lock, welcome. Another one. There's another league aside for the G League. Yeah, it's like right under the G League. It's for players to go from high school to go to this league, and if they don't want to go to college, they can go to this league and then apply for the G League. Yeah. DE from the Raiders, Crosby signed for $9.9 million, and wears number 98. Yeah, that's how they do it. Good catch though. Good catch and share. Crosby ain't even that great for $98 million. Yeah. It's professional collegiate league. Okay, professional collegiate league. Okay. I knew it was something. It is basketball or football. It's basketball, Lorenzo. Yeah, but PJ says this is professional collegiate league. Okay. Fila ruined Grant Lake's career. Yeah, it did. They made sucky shoes. He didn't do enough research with the shoes. It was kind of almost like what happened to Marbury. Marbury tried to play in them Marbury shoes, and it's like them shoes was nothing but plastic. I didn't mind buying them for my children because they was tearing them up, a couple months. I could go pay less than $10 to get another pair. Wasn't that big a deal. But like you would have a special line to make your shoes, you wouldn't be wearing. And the Balls got caught in that same thing too. The Ball, when they came out with his shoe, they didn't have a special line to pump out shoes for him. That should have been the first thing that Daddy thought of. Well, we need your shoes to be the best, and then we'll try to make the rest of them. But see, they run into them problems, them molds. There's only a few countries in the world that you can get these molds from. It's like Wear Tester. Remember, Well-Chester broke that down. He was just talking about the expense of the molds. And like the shoes that he made used the same mold. And so if you notice that the type that he made was all, that you could just see, they all come off the same process. So that's the expense that I think he didn't look the PCL. Okay. Thank you, PJ. Do you think it was in do you think we live in a simulation? Yeah, probably. Sometimes I do. Hey, Barbara, thank you for joining. It's funny, Barbara. I couldn't get one. I couldn't get them 15 shoes. I couldn't get with them 15 shoes. Yeah, them $15 shoes. Yeah, them shoes. I bought a pair of, the Ben Wallaces. I cut grass in them too. There's good grass cutting shoes until they got slippery. Oh, Grant Hill was nasty. I went to a bunch of his games. He put in work. I mean, when he played the Bulls for the first time, go back and find that game. 6'8". You got, I mean, people try to compare Kobe to Jordan. Yeah, you look at early Grant Hill, you see more Jordan than what you saw in Kobe. But at 6'8", bigger Jordan like. He would have been the next Jordan. I want to say Grant Hill was a little older than Kobe. Whatever happened to the league that's supposed to have been started by guys like Owens, Ricky Williams, Garcia. I don't know. Because the USFL is about to start. Yes, we are in a simulation. That's why shoes don't look the same. They have to be to make the mold. Exactly. Exactly. They have to tear the molds down and remake them. And there's only, for far as what Wear Tester was saying, he was saying that that's pretty exclusive to making the molds. Yep. Yeah, Grant Hill, man. I watched Grant Hill put work in on people. We used to go down there. And I'm saying everybody had on some Fila shit. That shit was kind of the player shit. It wasn't the furs and shit. The player shit was Fila shit. We all had. I had at least 4 Fila winter coats. And then like everybody had them. So we was trading coats, so we all looked like we wearing different coats. So my wife, she had access to my 4. I think we actually had 5 because she had her own. And so her cousins, and we all about wore the same size. So we was all trading coats. So we was all wearing that shit. Feelers had tennis shoes. I mean, they had jeans, they had sweatshirts. I mean, you went to see Pete Grant Hill, you look in the crowd, everybody got on Feelers shit. And I mean everybody. We used to have a dude at one time, we had to beat this nigga's ass. It was just over some weed. It was like my man's cousin was getting a deal. And like we was all together, like sitting in the car across and shit. So it was like we were sitting in cars. My man gets out, go get the pound or 2 pounds, whatever it was. And so he gets out the car instead of walking back to our car. This nigga just takes off running. And this is my man's cousin. This is Nutty's cousin. And we had to chase Jack down and beat his ass and take the weed. But it was just the funniest shit because I was just watching. I'm like, Peanut, this nigga's not coming back. He's like, yes. I'm like, this nigga's not coming back, man. Look at him. He took off running. And I guess he didn't realize I was in pretty good shape at the time. And we chased Jack down. I hit him with a flying tackle and shit. We beating his ass. He really is. And he was like out of shape hustler, It's like, no way, nigga, you was going to get away. I want a pair. No, I don't know. I don't know about them Grant Hill Feelers. They make them better now, but back then, they weren't great shoes. I never tried to hoop in them. Organic Matrix versus Satan's AI Matrix. Trying to copy God. And I ain't religious. Yeah, somewhat. Can you really die before your time? Can you die before your time? That's kind of an odd question, but no, it would still be your time. I see what you're saying. Like, can you die before fate? I guess that's kind of what you're putting. Can you die before fate? So that's what you would have to consider. So is it a way now? Okay, this goes into the simulation the way it is. It's organic and inorganic. Again, this technology is not organic. This shit has been around. This ain't new shit. They just released this shit as we can comprehend it. But this shit ain't new shit. And so there's a part of this thing that is organic. But we look at this technology, that shit ain't organic. That shit been around. Now, what was the question I wanted to answer? Can you die before your time? Can you change fate? It's like, can you live when it was your time? Can you rob the Grim Reaper? Can you sidestep the Grim Reaper? Can you like, hey, yeah, you missed me, motherfucker. You and that sickle. Kiss my ass, motherfucker. I'm over here now. You can't get me. What happened in Soul? He's like, hey, I ain't supposed to be here. Now, I'll say this. I'll tell you a true story. My cousin, he, had the oxygen shit. His brother died. And he was like, shit, this death thing ain't shit. So he talked to me and he was telling me goodbye. But he got caught in that limbo where you can, if you take advantage of it, you can learn how to live dying. Once you die, how to move ahead. But I had to find him. And I had to say, what you going to do, man? You can't be here. As comfortable it is, there's an expiration date on being here. You got to go one way or another. You either got to go back or move on. So he ended up going back for a few more days before it did pass. But yeah, it's called, whoops. Lorenzo say it's called, it's going to be called the Freedom Football League. Oh, okay. They copy any humans. We are the first machine. Well, that's an interesting concept. Us as machine. Nah, I don't know if we would precisely be the machine. I'll say this though, read my soul, and check this out. If you get on Pinterest, what's his name? Fuck. That's why I wish I would have kept my other phone, but my son needed a phone. But on Pinterest, there's these drawings. Eric Van Hegel. But what this dude did is this dude did almost everything in nature, drew pictures of this shit. But the most interesting things that you find in his work, and a lot of his work can be, there's books of his shit, but I think it's Eric Hinkle. Maybe I'm wrong, I have to relook it up. But this cat drew everything from nature. And I'll say that I'm biting a little bit off Bomber's work. But if you study this cat, you find every internal organ once lived in the sea. This cat drew lungs. It was a fish that, if you looked at the fish, it looked like our lungs. If you looked at another fish, it looked like our heart. It looked like all our internal organs was once these types of fish. I mean, you have to look these pictures, and it used to be on in his book. The newer ones don't have that. And he's got an ebook, Breaking the Matrix. I think it's from 2010. But it used to. The first time I got the ebook, it had pictures of that shit. But you see, our internal organs once was swimming around and shit, and even the brain. It was a fish that had like our brain in it and shit. So as you see, these things that was once individuals came together. Yep, they had the fake Roswell crash to make people think that that's where we got technology from, but they released it slowly. Absolutely, nothing but the truth. It's all about time. Thank you for joining. Nothing but truth. It is. It is. And I mean, time, shit, today, time saves me so much because it'll rewind, because I'd be like almost running into motherfuckers, paying attention to some other shit. And I was like, time would be like, hey, we done gave you 15 seconds here, motherfucker. You better pay attention. Okay, it's jumped on me. Wow. I'm watching the highlights of the Duke versus Miami game, and the Blue Devils mascot has brotherhood on his forearm. Wow. Especially being down there in Raleigh. No, it's getting to be called the Freedom Football League. But the league never got started. It ceased. Okay, it's expensive. It's expensive to put up semi-pro teams. It's expensive. Why would we leave the ocean for food when the ocean has plenty of food? Evolution is one of the biggest lies. Absolutely. One of the biggest lies. Yep. But yeah, that is a great catch, PJ. Wow. Definitely a good catch. But that's could and that's not really evolution. That's just how these life forms decided to come together. So it just shows you that they're still independent. They're worlds inside of us. Let me share this. This is really cool that came with it. This is a picture, and you can see paintings of something like this of All-Star Game. Lids also has, like, if you like the New York Rens, that was a black basketball team that played real games. Like, the Harlem Globetrotters started off playing real games. They just had the best hoopers in the world. But the Rens were the 20s, a team from the 20s that played for the World Championship almost every year. They used to travel around like the Globetrotters. That's really how basketball was kind of started. It's a traveling team. As I said, the Duluth Eskimos and the pro football, They played 30 games one season because they just traveled around. So, where to go? I started paying attention to everything I feel is bullshit. We should. Outer space is fake. Inner space is real. Yeah, outer space. Outer space is definitely fake. I mean, you can go up there and see what the fuck is up there. I've showed that before. That's one of the easiest meditations. My humble opinion. I just watched the highlights. I didn't even see that. Wow. Yeah, I watched the game. I try always, but one was never my head. They showed LeBron in the middle of the hidden hand like a minute or two into the game. Yeah, all the games he does the hidden hand. Yep. I remember reading about the New York Reds. Yeah, but they got the gear. You can get the gear like sweatshirts, like t-shirts and hats. This place, my lids, the bigger lids, because like I go out to the Mall of America, they got 2 big lids. Actually, it's 3 lids. It's a lids on, like you go to the Mall of America, it's a lids on every floor. And then the second, let me get it right. The big one is on the second floor, like equal to the one that I went into today. Because the big lid store sell all the jerseys and shit. Because I was really tempted to get that Thielen, like my Thielen yellow, but with the stitched. But like they want 150 in the store. On eBay, they got the Jefferson, same style, for 80. So yeah, I won't be dropping that 150. I get it like with my discount about 125, but that ain't enough. But there's my man, Conspiracy. Let's give him another standing ovation. That's my man. I gotta give you a call too. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. But that's what you when you watch games and TV and shows. That's what you should be watching. You should be watching the subliminal shit. You shouldn't just, and I like what helped me with that was watching motherfucking soap operas. They used to be called soap box operas. None of my mints are right here. But I would always notice the clothing style. Like you watch a soap opera, there's a color of the day. And you see every day how they're all pretty much coordinated. Everybody in the show is pretty much coordinated. And I picked that up, just seeing how dudes' suits fit and shit, and how they be looking and shit. I just always paid attention to that, how people are dressed and stuff. Like I had one of my partners tell me he wasn't in this TV show. I got a partner that we went to police academy together. We worked cops together for a year or two. And there used to be a show called, maybe it was called Battle Creek. Yeah, because it was a show based on Battle Creek. And the dude from The Sopranos starred in it. I don't know if you remember. The dude from The Sopranos starred in it, and the dude who gets in the not State Farm. What is it? Where he crashes into shit and gets in accidents. That commercial, he played on that show too. And at the beginning of the show, they showed Battle Creek. I'm trying to remember why I brought this up. It's kind of lost me why I brought this up. But I brought it up because my boy Ronnie, I saw Ronnie being like in the background and shit. And I was like, yo, Ron, I saw you on TV and shit. And he's like, oh, that wasn't me. I'm like, nigga, I known you since you was in 3rd grade. That was your big goofy ass in the background being a background character. And then later he got a role before the show got canceled. Because I don't even think it made the full season before they canceled it. But he got a show because he's always putting it on his Instagram and his Facebook. I want to sit front row court side during the LeBron game and record me giving him that ether. I probably wouldn't make it back. Well, I think Shaman sometimes takes the place of bodies. Not with my hands, but he knows how his dark art works. Yeah, he's part of the craft, no doubt. No doubt. Show blends, it's almost hypnotizing. That stuff on the show blends, it's almost hypnotizing. They so bodily and comfortable putting in people's face because the majority of the public not going to catch it. Absolutely right. They won't catch it. His cursed He cursed Deontay. Yeah, they broke him. They broke him. It's no way. It's no way that man should have been so broke. It's no way that man used hundred thousands of dollars for drugs to break him. I mean, there's no way. He had to sit somewhere, and I mean, really, he just couldn't get. I mean, really, you got your last 100,000, and you just gonna get high and just say fuck it. That seems very unlikely. It seems like things were done to him to put him in them streets to make sure his money was probably cut off. That's what I'm guessing. They cut him off from his money. And when he was getting high, they cut him off from his money and put him in the streets like that. That's what I'm guessing. And he played enough years to probably have pension. I don't know. We'd have to look it up. I always thought WWE and basketball was no different. Yeah, I always thought that too. I swore wrestling was real. My old brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law. Now let me even go back Friday. Entertainment world. Let me go back further. So we was in Greensboro. Greensboro's a big wrestling area. And again, in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, I started watching wrestling as a boy. Bubba Brazil was from Benton Harbor, the Michigan wrestlers. And then as you got a little, I moved to North Carolina when I went to school, and I got to see another, set of wrestlers. And so my ex-wife thought that shit was real. So we had went to the Greensboro Coliseum and watched wrestling. We went to eat. And she was like, see, I told you. She's just talking shit to me. She's like, I told you it was real. See how they beat each other's ass and all the blood. It's real. We go to Ponderosa. We get into Ponderosa. Guess who's sitting down? Not far from us. The same wrestlers she swore hated each other. They're all drinking, laughing, eating at Ponderosa. And I looked at her. I said, do they look like they hate each other? And she was kind of blown away and caught by surprise. It's like, see, that shit's act, baby. It ain't real. Oh, her little brother, he was a teenager when I was in my early 20s. So he's got to be in his late 40s if he's not 50 yet. Late 40s at least. But he wouldn't believe it for shit. Yeah, I was about to say, I believe shaming replaces sacrifice. It really does. It really does. So that's why a lot of times you see the shaming instead of the murder. Big E broke. Oh, the wrestler Big E broke his neck tonight. Damn. Woof. Send him healing energy. You remember in Living Color when Jim Carrey had skits where interview would be going on and Carrey would be doing all type of goofy shit in the background. Yeah. Dude who slammed him all messed up has now injured 3 dudes. He needs to get fired. Woo. But he's probably been told to do that. Because if they ain't going around with the program, they'll hurt a motherfucker. I told you. Pro football, you see it all the time. I mean, Gale Sayers probably didn't go around with the program, and they destroyed both his knees. Dick Butkus, too. And Dick Butkus played where they had the old way they hurt you is you engage with one lineman, and out of blindly another lineman to come and take your knee out. That's what hurt Dick Butkus. That's what's done to both his knees. The league will hurt people. Look at the Chicago game where one man knocked out his teammate. Knocked his teammate out. Teammate was about to make the tackle. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stone Cold, let's be enemies and go get this money. The whole story. You're right. So but sports is no different. Sports, I mean, all these sports, you don't see the purposeful injuries in basketball as you used to. As I said, the 1958-59 Rookie of the Year, Maurice Stokes was flipped by a European and damn near killed. I mean, he got up so high, the European took his legs out, and he damn near died, and he was fucked up for the rest of his life. This dude at 22, 23, because they was mad at his athleticism, and he could leap. A dude from Fort Wayne. He played for Cincinnati in the late 50s. A dude from Fort Wayne flipped him on his head, hurt him on purpose. Never went to jail or anything. They didn't take him to the hospital. The guy passed out on the plane. The plane had to force land. What they ended up saying is he had sleeping sickness is what they called it. But he couldn't walk. I mean, he was like just neck. I mean, they would put him in a wheelchair, but it was like, all his limbs, dried up. He had to be taken care of. Jack Timon, his teammate, took care of him. But he was purposely injured. And nothing was ever done to the person that injured him. And Gale Sayers is another prime example. Look at Michael Irvin. Y'all remember how Michael Irvin's career ended? He was already hurt, already had a head injury, and he had just come back. And what did they do? He played in the Eagles. I'm pretty sure he's up in that sorry ass, what is it, Veterans Stadium? Franklin Field or Veterans Stadium? Remember? They had to cart Michael Irvin off. Think that wasn't on purpose? They wanted to get Michael out the league. And they still kept him in the belly of it. You see, he was on all the networks, and now he's on the NFL network. And I still don't understand how brothers, when you dye your hair, there ain't no other color but jet black. I was talking to my 27-year-old son, and his hair's still brown. I'm like, damn, my shit used to be brown like yours. He has the exact same hair color. So does my daughter. But my afro used to get redder than a motherfucker. I used to have the summer red afro. Some of my pictures, you could still see the red in my hair because, you take pictures at the beginning of the year. And some of the pictures, you could still see the red in my afro. My daughter's hair gets real red. Hey, Moray, my man. Terrence Clark dies in a car accident days before signing Ducati sports brand. Wow. Beast System was in a lot of huge injuries to make sure LeBron's script game is planned. Like Gordon Hayward, the Celtics was looking sharp in preseason, was better. Yeah. I think his injury was fake, and I think Paul George's injury was fake too. I think that was movie shit. Brian Cavs team in first game of the season, LeBron was questionable with the same ankle that Hayward dislocated that game. Yeah, I think some of that shit, definitely they fake injuries, hold players out. It was easy to hold players out with COVID. They just did that to Booker. Ain't no COVID nowhere, and they held Booker out. Come on. Like, they want to stick the camera up my ass and then tell me, talking about I got to take a test. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, I'll spit in some shit, but you ain't sticking that shit in me. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. It's like, I got to call the nurse Monday. I'm like, look, because they sent me the shit to, you got to take that shit, and the shit just really removes everything. And then they stick the camera up your ass while you sleep and shit, because you ain't going to let a motherfucker stick a camera up your ass while you awake, He's like, motherfucker, no, that ain't happening. Just stay there and relax. You couldn't relax. Motherfucker, you got a camera up my ass. How relaxed you think I'm going to be? I would have had a pistol hidden under the pillow just in case. Like, don't act like you like that shit. No, I'm just doing my job. Yeah, you got to take that smile off your face. Okay, we saw this one. Yep, COVID made it easy to rest players. That's why I don't like MVP, Embiid for MVP. Yeah, but he's played, I don't know. Yeah, he did miss a few, but he's had a hell of a season. They're pushing him. Yep, Jay. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Camera up my ass, and the shit had you groggy all goddamn day. Remember when I had it done at 50, I fucking smoked a joint and motherfucking drank a beer, and man, I slept for about 10 hours. They was like, are you all right? Like, motherfuckers, leave me alone. Funny, he brought Terrence Crawford up, and that was the decade I presented it. Wow, they did that to that kid. Yeah. Terrence Clark, yeah. So it's interesting. It gets very interesting if you pay attention and you alert to all this and just don't believe the hype. Like watch. You know what they showed on the NFL Network? They showed that fucking they showed the Atlanta New England game, And that shit is beyond. Like look a video up where I show John Elway. John Elway is on the 10 and he backs up all the way to the end zone instead of throwing the ball. I mean, look at my video where it's in the Super Bowl. He's on the 10, and you telling me that on the 10 you're gonna drop back 8 yards. You're gonna call for a play around your own 10 where you're gonna back up 8 yards. Everything got to be quick, coming out quick there. And if you look at my video, I'm saying throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. And he just keeps running all the way to the end zone. I mean, is that fake? I mean, remember, he lost, I think, 4-2. I think Elway lost 3 or 4. I think Elway was in the Super Bowl 7 times and lost 4. Or he at least lost 3. He at least lost 3 Super Bowls. Remember, he lost to Doug Williams. The one game I'm thinking about, he lost. That game I made the video. But I think he lost 3 Super Bowls. I think, and he won 2. So, and that Super Bowl beating Green Bay, nobody thought he'd beat Green Bay. Nobody thought he'd beat Favre. Yeah, that was messed up, man. Yeah, I knew 100% was rigged. That's when I knew 100% it was rigged. Yeah. But I questioned the Super Bowl Cowboys Colts. Maybe that was Super Bowl 4. The John Mackey catch, just, it was no way that was a good play. Not with the rules at the time. 2 offensive players couldn't touch the ball. It would be a no good play, and they allowed that shit. And the Franco Harris catch, was the same thing. 2 offensive players touching the ball, which was against the rules, and they let that shit fly. And you listen to John Madden tell you that story. John Madden said he chased the reps and was like, what the fuck? 2 offensive men can't touch the ball. And they let it go. And Roger Goodell came up with the tuck rule. I don't know if y'all know that. He is the one. He was not the commissioner. Tagliabue was still commissioner. And he went to see what fix he could find because, again, the NFL hated the Raiders. They hated Al Davis because he filed his own case and beat them. And really, he gave the dagger for the USFL, even though they fucked the USFL by not giving millions to them, which they had rightly earned millions. And, the NFL had their man in there, and they only gave him $1. $1 for being a monopoly. Another woman like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, told professional to get that bag. Niggas ain't shit and being thought of female empowerment, but it's about hoes. Got to get a man. That's a good point. I mean, really, if you go into Julia, Julia breaks it down what they had to do. When a man couldn't live in the house. Because back then, like that's a good movie for anybody to reference. And I talk about Claudine. Claudine. Look at the movie Claudine. How the welfare people could come all up in your house. They had to hide things like an iron, black and white TV. You couldn't have none of this shit that looked like you was living beyond what they gave you. That's how they did it. But they really was in there to make sure the niggas was out of there. Couldn't find no dudes' clothes, all that kind of shit. But Claudine shows you this. And I've talked about this for years now. If you looked at Claudine and what Claudine was trying to tell everybody. Because first, you've got all the violence in the South to take you off of farms. At one time, my great-grandfather in the South owned tens of thousands of acres. When he married my great-grandmother, he was 29, she was 15 or 16. He had to give up 100 acres so her father could build a school for the melanated, for the Indians. 100 acres. And he was a pimp. He was like, shit, you ain't said shit. I own all this shit. And he gave her 100 acres. He gave her father 100 acres for her hand. And they had 8, 9 children. One of them my grandfather. One of them is my grandfather, my great uncles, great aunts. But that's what they did. They chased us off all the land because, again, my great grandfather, he didn't want to give his cotton to the cotton gin because they would keep your seeds. And he's like, how the fuck am I supposed to plant next year if you fucking take my seeds? So he put all this shit and sold this shit on himself because he was like, no, you're not keeping my seeds, because they would gin your cotton for free, but they would keep your seeds. And you taking pounds in there, it's So he saw the bullshit. He's like, y'all bullshit. You're not taking my seed, so I can't plant next year, especially if I like this cotton. I'm a huge Peyton fan, and I know his last chip was rigged with Cam didn't jump on the ball. Yeah, but the season where that nigga couldn't throw, he couldn't throw. Do the Lakers still have a chance of a playoff seeding? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to even make the play-in. Denver went 8 times and got 3. So Elway was 6-2. Yeah, 6-2. Yeah, 6 times and won 2. Yeah, he lost 4. Yeah, Elway lost 4. No. Elway lost 3 because Craig Morton lost to the Cowboys. Because Craig Morton had played with Dallas. It was like before Roger Staubach took over, because it was like Don Meredith. Actually, it was I probably can't remember his name. The first Cowboy quarterback, Eddie LeBaron. Yeah, when they first year was little Eddie LeBaron, and then when Don Meredith came in the mid, like 64, 65, I think is when Don Meredith. That was the first time the Cowboys had a real quarterback. But I think their first quarterback was Eddie LeBaron, a little short dude, and then they got Don Meredith. And then because of the Vietnam War and Roger Staubach, Roger Staubach was he won the fucking Heisman as a sophomore. I think he was the first underclassman to win the Heisman. But when he got done, they didn't give him the deferment like they did Danny Ainge. They made that nigga go to Vietnam. I don't know if y'all knew that. Roger Staubach had to go to Vietnam. And of course, they weren't going to put him in harm's way, but he was over there. And so I can't even remember the other quarterback's name, Don Morton. Morton. So Morton and him was going back and forth, and then Landry gave it to Staubach. Staubach was the bigger name. Morton ended up having a great season with Denver, and then they faced each other in the Super Bowl. And that's where they had the co-MVPs. Harvey Martin and Too Tall, I think, was co-MVPs. At least I know Harvey Martin was. I can't think of the other one, but I thought it was Too Tall. Do the Lakers have a chance? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, Denver wins 8 times. Well, maybe John Elway did lose shit. Maybe he did lose 4 because they lost to Dallas. And I think Elway lost 4. Yeah, well, he won 2, but I think he lost 4. Got to remember who the other quarterback was. Pat Mahomes did similar stuff in the second half of that Bengals game. You could see his face. He knew he wasn't winning. Yeah. Was it Lobo? I think Lobo was showing how everybody's face and shit was kind of giveaway. The body language, they face. Lobo did a good job. If y'all checked out Lobo's work. LeBron running the Lakers. Denver overrated. Hey, Ricky Smooth was that. I remember that Elway video you showed. Instead of him doing a 2-stop drop, he did like 8 steps in the end zone for a safety. Exactly. And we saw Pat Mahomes do the same thing. Motherfuckers talking about, he threw. No. If he'd have threw the ball to Kelsey, when Kelsey broke open, no way the person could have got the ball. Instead, he held it, didn't throw it. The same play with the handoff at the end zone. It was a read option. You had spread them out. You had put that motion there. And the middle was wide open. And he doesn't hand the ball to him. You try to throw a pass that's just very unlikely. At least you throw it, you give it in the middle, you get my time to line up. But it was like, hand the ball off and it's a touchdown. So that just showed. Yeah, it said body language in the intros. Yeah. That's what Lobo, and that's a great thing. Again, I like all these eyes that are coming. Maybe I'll start a little thing putting more eyes on this shit, because they act like they don't care that we catch them, but they do. But this is where you say, is it a simulation? Is it like the Matrix? Is it like Dark City? There are so many people that won't accept what we saying because they believe in everything so much. This motherfucker's still wearing masks. So what do you think? What do you think about that? It's motherfuckers that still refuse not to wear masks. So what do you see the programming that people are under? They're like, fuck that. I don't trust this shit. Motherfuckers say, don't wear the mask. I'm going to wear the mask. And motherfuckers be outside. This ain't never been a disease you could catch outside. The big sun simulator today just made no sense. Okay, right now it's about 1 or 2, maybe look up Minneapolis. That's pretty much where you can look up fucking Pryor, like I don't care, but look that shit up. Right now it's like 7 above zero. The wind chill factor is like -3 or -4. It's cold as fuck. I mean, walking out at the outlet, it's walking, and which I don't mind. I got the Tommy downfield. Y'all saw the daddy out. I'm got the Tommy downfield, so ain't nothing cold. I'm wearing the fucking patent leather, or not patent leather, but Nubuck motherfucking Tims, the black Nubuck Tims, and so I'm like fresh to death. But it wasn't. It was still cold. It was fucking freezing. It's supposed to get a little warmer. I hate I got to go way back out there. But fuck it, I'll go back out there. And they had this sweet, sweet rugby shirt because they didn't have a hoodie I wanted. I wanted a hoodie like the shirt I wore the other night, the polo. But they got the bear kicking a football, writing on the back with a number. This shit is sweet, but it's like I just tend not to wear collared shirts. And to drop 100 and something on some shit I might not wear. And then I looked at my closet. I got a Tommy rugby shirt that I ain't worn in years. It's just I tend not to wear collared shirts, but the shit is sweet. Oh, the shit is sweet. I love clothes, but I love stitching. And that shit is so nice. Moray. Some of the hoes look better with mask on. I would agree there. Be like hitting it and shit. Be like, baby, put that mask back on. Or like you had your girl wear a wig and shit, and you be like, can you put, you go for round 2, be like, can you put she been took the wig off, it's hot, and you be like, put the wig back on for round 2. And bitch get mad shit. No, I'm not putting that shit back on. That's funny. The masks make you wear it on the plane in some places, but they lifted the mandate at my job. Now I'll say this: when it's cold as fuck, the mask is cool because the mask can keep that hawk off you. I won't lie and say that. I could have easily wore a mask walking around because it was cold as fuck. It really was. The safety is Super Bowl was a replay of that. Only difference is that the ball snap over Peyton Manning head for safety against. Let me stay on this. Let me stay on this. Let me tell you, I talked about this a week or 2 ago, or maybe a couple of days ago. Look at, as I said before, I showed, and motherfucker hit me a copyright strike, even though I showed his channel for showing the winning touchdown for San Francisco, where that Billups drops the interception on purpose. But remember, the play that put him down there, Wilson ran an in. He ran the same play that Russell Wilson, the receiver for San Francisco, ran the same play that Seattle ran. Now, if you watch a 30 for 30, they talk about that, and they talk about they played them in a preseason game. Look this shit up. They played Seattle in a preseason game, and that was the play that they was specifically working against. Now, how hard do you scout preseason games? You really don't. But this play was decided in the preseason. And again, Super Bowl's nothing but repeat. You see the same play. The dude catches the ball around the 1 where they put them down there. And in the next play, Billups drops the game-winning interception on purpose. So you see how it's just the same shit. It's the same shit regurgitated, the same shit, the same kind of things over and over and over again. The shit gets tiring. The shit gives me a headache. They be bullshitting. It'd be some bucktooth bully bullshit. Sometimes it makes you want to holler. It makes you want to smash, smash, smash. Just having fun. It's just about fun tonight. That's all. Just about fun. Trying to enjoy myself. This has been a lovely day. I did lose some money and then I spent up some money, but I won a little bit. So kind of almost a push. About $100 less from being a push. Hope I do better tomorrow. These fucking conference tournaments. Yeah. Auburn, who thought Auburn would lose? Nobody did. But look out for Auburn in the playoffs. They did well last year. So this losing the tournament, when I looked at Auburn losing, I'm like, oh, they just trying to get these motherfuckers a rest for the tournament. So sometime it ain't bad. Because you know basketball back to back, and then the Final Four, you playing within a week, and they get them games off quick. The cool thing about it is that Thursday, Friday, it is games all day. That's the cool thing, you know, for those that, you know, have the sporting man's life and can watch the shit and bet the shit. So, you know, well, kind of double talking. Oh, I guess I will read the divination unless somebody else got something else to talk about. Because I ain't really got shit to do but take these goddamn shoes back. You know how like motherfuckers be calling you and shit like when your prescriptions are done, they be like, well, Mr. Macon, your Viagra's here and we're just waiting for you to pick it up. Do you still want it? like like what? You ain't supposed to say the shit by name. That winning time about the Lakers is funny. Jerry Buss was a fool. Yeah, Jerry West, they show Jerry, but Jerry West, they show Jerry West as being crazy. Like a out of control crazy motherfucker. That losing hurt his ass. Yeah, they show Jerry West not in a very favorable light. No wonder he didn't die of a heart attack as a young man. Jerry West in his late 80s. Him and Oscar Robertson the same age. They played in the Olympics together. Yeah, there it is. But that shit gets. But you know, we know Magic never had that shit. And you know, if you really listen to the way his wife, there's like, oh, she doesn't have it. So you telling me this motherfucker been fucking everybody? He'd fuck anybody in the ass, any man, woman. It didn't matter to Magic. That was what Magic was known for. Will Smith too. They was known they'd fuck anybody. I mean, again, you know, when you being served up by a fucking wizard, and the wizard sees that you'll be, you know, do all kind of perversions. That's why Magic was easy to pick to do that bullshit that he did about the AIDS. Nat saying Auburn is going to win the NCAA tournament, but this year is the year Tiger. I think Duke is going to win. Oh, you said Zach said that shit? Nat. Not saying Auburn is going to win, but this is a year to Tiger. But we saw the Tiger not winning the Super Bowl. It's no more Viagra. It's Blue Chews. Jerry West was going off. Cartoon coming out of the logo got me. Yeah, that shit was funny. That was good writing. Magic and Isaiah turned out his sons with a disgrace. Yeah. I mean, that's what Magic had to give up. That boy was probably shot up with that shit when she was in it. You know, definitely. But it's better than, you know, I have Kansas. I think I'm still going with Duke. Even if Duke don't win the ACC tournament, I still think that it's going to be Duke. I think Duke is going to get it with Krzyzewski going out. That's kind of what I'm seeing is they're playing him out. Will they give it to Auburn? Auburn won in the 40s, I think. I don't know. Y'all have to look that up for me to see if Auburn ever won it. But I think they won it in the like 30s or 40s. I like Kansas. Kansas not bad. I think they got a pretty solid team. I watched enough of their ball. I watched a lot of college ball just to kind of compare, you know, to see when this bullshit starts. St. Mary, one lock is St. Mary gonna win their first game. That's a lock. Listen to the announcer's like, I guarantee that St. Mary's wins the NCAA game. Yeah, the first one. So let's see who they put St. Mary's with. You know, they played there and they beat Gonzaga this year. They beat Gonzaga last week or week before. I think last week. They beat last week and they beat Gonzaga. So look for that. Can you speak about In-Game Ultra? Yeah, a little bit. Well, what they did is they started going to South America, and this is just to give you kind of how it developed, or some of it developed, especially the drug part. So when I talk about the book of Be Here Now, I don't know if the dude is telling, he's probably aging himself, but the dude who wrote the book Be Here Now, they started going down to South America and getting the drug from the frog, from the mushrooms. They get you high, and they were the first to make the synthetic LSD. So if you look at the older Manchurian Candidate, the one with Frank Sinatra, not the one with Denzel, the one with Angela Lansbury, looking finer than a motherfucker. That's one of my favorite actresses. She was one of probably young Angela Lansbury was one of the cutest women ever. I mean, I'll say, to me, the finest women that ever existed on this earth was Angela Lansbury, Denise Nicholson, that played in Room 222 in the 60s. And you know I love Dana Delaney. You know, of course I love Dana Delaney. But Angela Lansbury, whoo, she was like a perfect looking chick. But okay. So they, as that group, started taking the acid and seeing how it did. Well, what they also found out was it could almost create a kind of psychotic effect of control. And Jody will tell you the parts of, like, some of these people you're in these families, and because you're in the families, it's almost like you're in the mafia almost. And so a lot of times your life is geared toward the controlling of the Hollywood, where you're conditioned. And this could be a lot of controlling or brainwashing to put you in the MK Ultra kind of programs. And so this branches out where families take care of this to make sure people do these steps, and they end up in these programs, that they have these specific controllers. Because controllers, believe it or not, controllers come in very early in people's life. Now, one of my first handlers, he took my mom to the prom. Now, he had military background. That's probably where some of his teaching and showing him on his abilities, how to start being a handler and passing them off to other handlers. Because in sports, that's what you see all the time. You'll have the handlers at AAU. You had the handlers at being around the high school. You had the handlers in college. And then you have handlers in the NFL. Now you look at how girls make it, maybe through dance, maybe through high school plays, maybe through college plays. But there's always somebody in the background. I'll tell you a good example. Watch the shit that maybe it's Vice TV is showing about the Playboy shit. And that shows you exactly how the MK Ultra programs with women are run. Through sexuality, they're thinking these women are thinking they can be stars. And you see several of them, like they went through the dope thing. They killed a couple of them dope people that was getting Hugh Hefner dope. It's like, nah, bitch, you ain't going to jail and telling on me. You got to take, you lived a good life, honey. Up to this point, you got to take one. You had a couple people killing themselves. A couple people ODing. Instead of telling, they OD'd. So so going back to like the Manchurian Candidate, and it makes you wonder about these school shootings, because the Manchurian Candidate shows how you can brainwash a person, and then you have certain things they respond to. Like you see shows where they'll strap a motherfucker down and they put all this shit, these movies across, to try to get inside, to brainwash you. Well, there's like a motherfucking child could be sitting there watching the program or playing this video game, and inside the video game, something will say something that could trigger that child to go create mass murder. I mean, these are how good the programs are. That they'll respond to a certain word. It's go time, and they'll respond. But this goes through like this, like the boule. It goes through the boule, goes through acting, goes through singing. where at a certain point, these people have to be in. I mean, there's the fictional book that talks about, I always talk about Sam Giancana, but they talk about Sam Giancana, they talk about Marilyn Monroe. And like, if you really study Marilyn Monroe, she was one of the most saddest persons that ever lived. The amount of niggas she had to fuck to make it. It says she had seven or eight abortions, and then you wonder why she couldn't carry a baby. Now, some people say Marilyn Monroe was a dude, not really saying that, but I'm just saying, look at the type of life she had to have to get to the little bit of fame she had. All the niggas she had to fuck. But these degrading women is a way to program them to not have any emotions tied to having a sex act. So what happens when they get married? When these people under MK Ultra control get married, it's already built in things that are going to get in the way of the marriage. So if you look at this person who goes into the service, that's to season them up or see how much violence this person is willing to put out. As I said, you watched the Ken Burns thing on Vietnam, a European that said he got used to killing. He said, first killing is kind of odd, but after a while you get used to it. As I've said many times, I have relatives that went to Nam, personal friends, my roommate. None of them never said it was easy to kill. I had one dude, I was like, were you scared? He was like, fools never get scared. He went over there like 18. He said, fools never get scared. He said, I'm a fool. So no, I loved it. He would tell me story after story after story. I've told this story before. This same dude that told me he fucked a 12-year-old over there. He fucked a 12-year-old reading the goddamn comic book while he fucking her. He said he looked on the wall where, she had been sucking juice and spitting the shit on the wall and shit. Now, I'm not saying yay or nay on his behavior. That's not the point. The point is, like they described, it was a place where anything went. Where anything went. Like, look up the book Bloods, and it's a dude named Gene. Like, when in Dead Presidents, where they find his friend, the dude that played in Soprano, and he had his dick in his mouth when they gutted him, and they put his dick in his mouth. This dude named Gene found a dude like that. And you get that book Bloods and study about Gene. Gene was a cold motherfucker. He's one of the motherfuckers that they learned from the Viet Cong that 6-7 dudes could move throughout the whole country, especially in them jungles. That was the most efficient because that's what they did. Gene was one of them motherfuckers up in the demilitarized zone going after the motherfucking Viet Cong, North Vietnamese army. Because the Viet Cong was in the south, the North Vietnamese army came down. But he found a dude that they show a Dead President. He found a dude like that, where they had cut it motherfucker open, cut off his dick, and stuck his dick in his mouth while he was still alive. And he was just laying there like that, and Gene came upon him. And they used that in Dead President. They kind of used a couple different people. The dude who stole the money was another dude. That was another dude, the dude who stole the money that they made the story. But that was Gene, so they read Bloods, and that was Gene's story about finding the dude in Vietnam like that. But what did Old Dog say? They put Old Dog in Vietnam. What did he say? What did Old Dog say? I don't give a fuck if children out there. I don't give a fuck the mamas, the daddies. I'm laying them all down. Ain't that what Old Dog said? And then they put Old Dog in Vietnam. Old Dog said, I don't think about America. I don't think about my mom, my dad, no woman. I'm over here to kill these motherfuckers. And if I think about that other shit, it'll stop me from killing. Y'all remember that line? That was Old Dog. Still, put Old Dog in Vietnam. Imbecile psychopath. Let me catch up on these. I think most of these athletes are MK assets genetically modified before birth. Could be. Have you ever done shrooms? I should try it. Only if I only smoke weed and drink beer occasionally. Sit somewhere pretty and do shrooms. Don't try to drive around. That shit might trip you out. DMT, same way. Be somewhere comfortable. Rich Paul's LeBron's handler. I think he had others. They was both young at one point. I think they both had. Phil Jackson was Jordan. Kobe's. I think when Jordan's daddy died, he had a bodyguard that ended up having a stroke. But I think the bodyguard at one time was a handler too, or even the dude who his agent. Michael Jordan's agent was probably a handler. WAP all the time. Clockwork Orange. That's a good movie. Yeah, Clockwork Orange is a good movie. I think another movie to look at where they probably MK control was In Cold Blood, with that Truman Capote wrote about. There's really two good. The dude who ended up OD, and I think his name was David Seymour, played Truman Capote. That was a really good movie. If you looked at that Truman Capote, there was two Truman Capote movies, but that one where dude almost fucked him into jail. Dude was like, Truman Capote was gay, so he's probably, but he was able to meet with the killers. But in one instance, they showed the killer was about to fuck Truman Capote. Truman Capote was probably going for it. So he said, I could fuck you right now. There's nobody here. Brian Chosen. Nate Thurman is his pops. I'd probably agree with that. Yep. Boulay runs entertainment. I don't know if they run it, but they've got a big hand in it. For those that don't know what women wearing leopard means, again, yeah, I've got on the leopard pants of shame right now. But I ain't had to do nothing but pay $5 for them. PJ, he was all what? Trump was Kanye's handler. He probably had others too, though. Didn't he sign with Jay-Z and them? Bird flew over the cuckoo's nest. Yep, James. What's happening, James? That's right. That's another one. I think Kanye West was cloned when he exposed the industry at his concerts. Could be. Possible. Very possible. I mean, how we know he didn't die in a car accident. They probably saw his potential and killed that one and brought another one. Like I say, if you study, I watch a lot of the American Hero channel and the other channel that shows Hitler all the time, and you can see it's multi-Hitlers. You can see it. It's a bunch of different Hitlers. So that old man Hitler with his hands shaking and shit, fuck that. They killed his ass out in Prussia. They killed his ass in the Wolf Lair. I don't give a fuck what they do. You see the dude who come afterwards, it's a different dude. You see the pictures of the motherfucker about to walk up in there, and then you see the dude they showing meeting Mussolini. They say his hands shaking from getting blowed up. Now you telling me you gonna go beat a motherfucker after getting the fuck blowed up? It was like Batman just put his hands up and got blowed the fuck up. Nobody took his mask off. It's a prime example. He's laying there knocked out. Give Batman some mouth to mouth. They don't even do that shit. Have you ever had a pair of Nike Dunks? I don't think so. Ricky Smooth. What happened to my boy Jeffrey? Jeffrey be on Facebook. I'm Facebook friends with him. He still be on Facebook. He probably watching. I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, he probably watching though. He be on Facebook. He put some shit out last week on Facebook. So I'll be seeing this shit. Yeah. They said Walt Disney might be Hitler. He might have been one of them. Definitely could have been one of them. Tom Brady looked younger at the end of his career than when he started. Look at them pictures I got. That dude is in the wheelchair. Look at my community part, and I'll show you an old Tom Brady and a young one. That congressman that's in the wheelchair. That's a prototype of a Brady look, and then the congressman or the senator that's older. I'll show both of them. You see the old Brady, you see Brady the football player, and you see the young Brady. So you see that phenotype. All three of them dudes is the same phenotype, almost like they from the same dude. Especially the young one in the wheelchair. I mean, they look almost identical. Look at the dude in the wheelchair, and then look at Tom Brady young. It almost looked like the same dude. Like they're brothers almost. So, but yeah, Jeffrey's around. But remember, Tom Brady played in the HBO show. Where remember what they would do? They'd act like they clone you. They would clone you, but they had to bury the other clone, and the dude came out the dirt. And Tom Brady was in the movie briefly and said he's been back and forth 6 times. Cause you go in there, they make another you, they kill you and bury you, and then the other clone come out and live the rest of your life until you do it again. And they showed that Tom Brady what it alluded to all his Super Bowl years. He was cloned. And remember, the clone woke up, kind of like the Arnold story, a little bit. Kind of a lot like that story. Yeah. Wow, they placed them. Brady said he throws harder and runs faster than rookie year. When Eminem performed, MG exposed him being cloned. Could it very well be? You think Brady coming back? They just saying maybe the Raiders, but I don't know. They say Brady is a bloodline too. Wouldn't doubt it. They let you know in movies. Yeah, some of the movies do. Christopher Reeves is now alive and can walk. Tamara Magdalene channel had an epic video on it. Maybe he's a clone. Could have been. Because, like, the dude, this is what makes no sense. Christopher Reeves was 6'4", 6'5". And the shit he was trying to do, the trainer told him, you're too tall to do this. That's what the dude who trained him. I mean, you can look that shit up. That shit's probably out there. The guy who trained Christopher Reeves to steeplechase told him, you're too tall to do this. And he wanted to do it anyway. Maybe he had a handler, hand behind the back, and then he breaks his neck. Ken, why do you making movies? What the fuck you need to jump on horses and shit for? Especially competition. What do you need that for? You should get a motorcycle for the summer. You feel grounded when you ride a motorcycle. Same thing with electric bike. Electric bikes you can ride down here in the bike lanes, because right here we're the capital of bike riding in Minnesota. Look up, every year we get the top bike riding, but e-bikes can damn near, like, I could now. It is, you got to carry a pistol if you ride your e-bike around in Minneapolis, because it's kind of rough in Minneapolis these days. But I could, because I'm like, it's 20 miles of highways between me and the city. Like, for me to get downtown Minneapolis, it's about 20 miles. However, Brooklyn, well, no, St. Louis Park is where all the trails go that feeds into the city. And so I could, if like really eventually trains could take me up there. But right now I could put my bike on the front of well, I don't think these buses down here had the bikes where you could put the bike, like you could put your bike on the trains. So I could, now I don't know if I could make it all the way on the e-bike all the way to Mall of America. But I could put a bike on the train and then have the bike take me to Minneapolis, or I could take the bike to St. Louis Park, and then I could ride into the city and ride all day. Like, ride around the lakes and shit. It's pretty as fuck here in the summer. Ride around the lakes, just chill, see women. Yeah. Going live tomorrow? Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can bring PJ on tomorrow. Definitely. We can say Gucci Mane is a clone. We could say same for Eminem. Could be. You go live on Saturdays? Yeah, I'm taking off Sunday night and Monday night. Yeah, he's a clone. He's been cloned. Could be. They said Deshaun Watson won't face charges. They fuck with him the whole season. Yep. They love Deshaun. Yep. They sure did. Remember, they flipped Cam in the car. Y'all remember that? Cam Newton flipped in the car. So they send you signals. You ain't doing it right. And this was a money grab. It's going to cost his pockets, but his pockets is fat. So, they'll fend these people off. They're going to get less. And that's the thing. Since the criminal case fell on his face, these people going to get a lot less money. They're going to get a lot less money than what they would have got if he would have been criminally charged. So they're already saying, that the fight to get him is on. So won't be surprised where he ends up. Oh, shit. I've been going for 2 hours. Damn, Fade, that nigga shit. Got a lot to say tonight. The spirit moved me tonight. It grooved me tonight. I, I feel I feel sanctified. I I feel sanctified. I I feel sanctified. I I feel sanctified. Let's have some fun. What do you get out of doing donuts in a car? Yeah, I don't get that shit. Fucking up your car like that, I never get that shit. Burning rubber, what the fuck? Why are you burning rubber? Burn rubber on me. Yeah, I don't get that shit either. Doing donuts. Drifting. You know, that's some shit we practice in the wintertime to learn how to control our cars. But just to do it, fuck that. I've had to fucking do it. I had to do it last weekend. My shit was like, woo! It's like, hey, Hero Twins, make this shit stick. And right when I was sliding, about to go to the edge of the highway, it's like, that motherfucking four-wheel, one of them tires kicked in and kept me straight. But it was like, woo! So, if you fuck with shit every day, it works with you. Why do you think black YouTubers got to talk about each other to get views through and even the women? That's a good point. And the reason that is a divide and conquer that's going on. Like I was saying, with the Claudine and saying you can't be in the house or I can't get these benefits despite these children being yours. So you can come in here and fuck me and get me pregnant, but once the children are born, you can't be up in here. What kind of shit is that? You can't tell me it wasn't an attack on the family. And then it came to be, you got to get a J-O-B if you got to be with me, that kind of shit. And then it came to the soul sisters. Oh, I'm the soul sister. I don't need no man. I make more money than all the niggas I date, so I don't need no man. I mean, we went through that period. I make more money than him, so I can't be with him. How does that work? I got a guy. His lady is very, very, she went hard for Trump and she failed. I mean, she went too zealous on Trump and she failed. She had to hide. But my buddy, since we've been in 4th, 5th grade, married her. One of my buddies. I ain't never known that nigga to work other than coaching high school basketball. He don't even do that no more because our children are old. I think that his youngest he only got one child, but he's got to be 27, 28, 29. So he ain't coached in a long time. They live in a big, pretty house in Michigan, fly all over the world. They went to Fiji, and she showed herself. This nigga took his Jordans to Fiji. The shit was funny, the motherfucker. I was like, oh, no, he didn't take his Jordans to Fiji. Yeah, she showed a picture of their room and shit, and this nigga had Jordans in Fiji. So I guess he thought he was going to hoop in Fiji. Yeah, you go to Fiji, you do not need no goddamn Jordans. That shit's funny. Brown the woman gossip more than the man. YouTube beefs out of hand. But like one thing people didn't look at and how like the conscious community out of New York had to be destroyed because they was pushing that black shit, that Africa shit, and that had to be destroyed. But it was for them, it was always a money grab. But the way it was handled to get rid of them, it was a lot of that black on black shaming. It was a lot of that black on black shaming and exposing. But let me tell you, a lot of them niggas that exposed them New York dudes, some of them called themselves, well, some of them used to be goat lovers, because I exposed that too. A lot of them niggas that said they was with the feathers up and that shit, a lot of them dudes was former goat lovers, Hebrew Israelites, Cameo. I'll say the motherfucker's name. They fuck with my brother, Cameo, whatever the fuck his name is. They doing the same scamming them niggas in New York was doing. Same money grab. So what they did is displaced scammers, and then they set in their place. And that's all it was. It wasn't feathers up to make more people learn about the most black folks wasn't slaves. You was Indians. What your parents and grandparents was telling you was true. Wasn't that back to Africa shit? There are very few of us that got any ties to Africa. Very few. You look at your family history. But we seen these scammers take place of scammers. And they've made these motherfuckers shit. These motherfuckers have made a lot of money. They went from going, some of these guys went to prison and they saw this opening. They saw this opening. And when they started, they were struggling. All of a sudden they get computers, people buy them computers and shit. And the work and the editing gets better and better and better. But again, it's these same scammers. They replace scammers. So that's what you saw. But we see the same thing, going back and forth, talking about each other. Like I've never, like, you know what? I'm going to say this shit. What's his name? So TK Kirkland and Tommy Sotomayor are not the same person. I didn't know that. I thought it was the same dude. I thought when I was watching one, it was the other. I didn't know it was two different dudes. I thought it was the same dude. Who's the other dude? Kevin something. I ain't never watched that motherfucker. What this motherfucker gonna tell me? What is he gonna teach me at 60? Motherfucker, I've watched all this shit. I live this shit. So I ain't got really nothing to say because I don't watch that shit. You see that? You don't see me watching that shit. If you see me, it'd be live. It'd be motherfucking Zach shit. It'd be bomber shit. Quantum of Science, he never really goes live. But them about the two people you see me. That's about it. If you see me making comments, it's, oh, Sly, of course, Nick, yeah, of course. That's what I was saying. But I'm saying outside of that, Darkman X, you occasionally I'll be on his stuff too. But these other people that's talking about the bashing women, you ain't gonna never see me commenting on that shit. I don't be watching that shit. What the fuck I'm listening to them goofies for? And the Kevin dude looked like a goofy too. So there ain't nothing that they can tell me about relationships. Motherfucker, I know where I fucked up and I know where I did okay. I know what worked and what don't work. It's just that simple. So Kevin Kitten Samuels. Kevin Kitten. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I watch Zach. I mean, I watch Zach. And I've said before, Zach's problem is you don't have to report on everything. You don't have to decode everything. It ain't important. Everything ain't important. And that's the problem I have with him. He thinks everything has to be decoded, and that makes me think he worked for them peoples. Because what I've learned is if you ignore most of this shit, it's not effective. He don't ignore nothing. He'd be like, Cookie Monster buried the cookie in the mountains. This means 34 is mountains. You know, it just be breaking the stupidest shit down that don't even deserve to be broke down. And that's why it makes me think he worked for them peoples, because again, everything ain't worth breaking down. Some of this shit you gotta fucking ignore. But not everything. This motherfucker breaks down everything. Well, did you see what happened? Motherfucker fell off the mountain. And, you know, falling off the mountain is 17, and just like going up the mountain is 17, and you see these 17s, and it's the Jesuits every time. The Jesuits made that motherfucker go up the mountain, and the Jesuits made him fall off. I mean, it's overkill. It's overkill. And eventually people will lose interest because it's like, okay, you telling me everything's got something, some secret code in it. That's how most people think. Regular people think like that. They're like, well, why are we listening to this shit? You know, why are you breaking down every story? A lot of news needs to be ignored. I would say 80% of news fucking ignore that shit. So you don't have an emotional tie to this shit. Be like, okay, you watch that shit, oh, they bullshitting. They talking some bullshit. He can't do that. He can't turn off bullshit. he keeps going. And it be bullshit. And that's the problem I have with him. Everything don't deserve to be broken down. Because it makes motherfuckers that watch him want to break everything down. Where they don't even ignore shit. It's like the problem I have with Brother Balmer. Everybody fucking saying wellness. That's cult-like. Fuck that. Don't. You know, I or wholeness. I say wellness, them niggas say wholeness. He got everybody saying wholeness. Now, when I say wellness to people, you don't necessarily have to say it back. But that's the energy I pull out. I hope everyone is well, mentally and physically. Because you can't be whole if you ain't well. Now, I don't expect everybody to be saying that shit back. My friend from Texas, she always greets me with that when she comes on. And so ignore some of this shit. Don't give it life. Because the shit only lives when you fucking put it into your psyche. Quantum science is a hidden gem. You know, like I caught that motherfucker. Like, okay, it's a couple people. I ain't gonna say the other person's name, but I'll say his name. He was sitting there with like, and those who listen to this rap, they know the other person I'm talking about, but I ain't gonna say his name. I'm cool with him, and I ain't gonna say his name, but him and Quantum of Science both said, why this? What's so big about the shot? What make this shot different than the other shots you take? What make it different than the pills you take? That's government agent talk. That's government agent talk. And I caught him talking like that, and I caught one other person say, why this? That's agent talk. I know agent talk. I've been trained by these motherfuckers, so I know when I hear agent talk, and that shit's agent talk. And like I heard this one person, I'm like, But then I heard Quantum of Science say it a day or two later. Like, yeah, and I was like, with him and his people was, you know, he got the protectors too. I'm like, you just showed you an agent, motherfucker. Now you tell me you not an agent, then he'll get off and talk all the other shit. And most of the shit I do like. I like a lot of what he says. But motherfuckers, you can't let your hair down. Because you can't take one day where you talk like an agent and that shit goes away. Well, you know, we listen to him every other day, and the motherfucker only talked about an agent one time, so he's okay. No, motherfucker talk like an agent, the motherfucker agent. You know, that's it. If you at one point defended this shit, you an agent. There's no way to get around that. Samuel doesn't bash them. He tells them what would help them. Most are tough, taught their value. Okay. Don't know what to say about that. Okay. I met TK. He's pretty cool. And nah, I ain't listening to no Kevin Samuel dudes that ain't got no game. Watch them jackass. Yeah, I didn't know. I thought when I was looking at TK Kirkland, I thought he was the other dude. I said, what's the other dude's name? I thought they was the same dude. Because I was like, oh, this ain't the same dude. I thought the other guy. That the woman, I guess she bashed him. Sly would say, them niggas down the street. Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's loose. Yeah, it's loose with Kevin. He say you want a high value man and you average looking. When a woman say she want an average man, he still bash her saying she's average. I'm gonna say this though. Europeans, okay, money does seem to move people. Of course, older dudes sometimes want the trophy girl. But one thing I learned about Europeans is, especially coming out of high school, going into college, they care less about looks. I'm telling you, they seem to care like the average people. The average people only making like 100 grand, you know. They don't seem to care about looks because I've had friends that wives beat a bomb and these be the ugliest burly motherfuckers you could ever see. It's like you look at them and you look at her, and it's like, no way. Um, my daughter's aunt by marriage, this chick, like her uncle's first wife, her cousin's mother. Her cousin's mother was like fucking fine. I remember she was just like recovering from cancer, but I was like, damn, where did she come from? This chick was fine. And I tell you, she had married the nastiest Billy Gruff motherfucker that didn't take showers. Like a funny story with him, and I've told this before. So this is going into Thanksgiving. We was having Thanksgiving. He owned, like, his cows was on the property and shit. So it was a barn. So we get out the car and I'm hearing this ping, ping, ping. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm looking around trying to figure out where this ping coming from, because it sounded like little 22s. And then I caught it. He was up in the top of the motherfucking barn. He was shooting at the crows eating the cow's feed. So I went up there, of course, and had to shoot with him, but he stinked. But it was like, how did you ever? And because by the time I met these motherfuckers, he was living in the house. She had a big, like, Winnebago. I mean, like, slept 10. She had a huge, like a bus. It was like just smaller than a bus. And they wasn't living together. But I was like, how did you ever let that motherfucker? Like, he had to look like that when he was young. Oh, so I don't know. They seem to like not care. Just my history of watching these motherfuckers, it'd be like the ugliest dude with the prettiest woman. That's why I don't get when they show these mean high school people and shit and the perfect bitches, that don't talk to the athlete. Well, we know that's a lie. It's always been the cheerleader and the football king, the football player. But it's just so funny. PJ said, but Samuel message is to value yourself as a man. Okay. Know who you are. Okay. I couldn't quote Samuels. I ain't never watched him other than spreading through and slide and be talking about it. Yeah, when Zach get the breaking down this shit, I'll stop paying attention and forget he was the code. Yeah, because this shit you got to ignore this shit. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that too. Alpha male strategy. So okay, Ricky. Zach always wrong about sports, but his world events are accurate. Yeah, he took a wash in the Super Bowl. Well, he told the people to bet on Cincinnati. If you took the points, you won. I'm from Texas. Okay, I don't know what that means. You from Texas? Is that where Kevin Samuels from? He from Texas too. Miss Light Skin, he may, but a lot of dudes listen to him because of their confidence. I'm cool. I know sends me these guys with no game. Yeah, I don't see a lot of pimping in him. Again, I never watched him, but just looking at him, he don't look like somebody be pimping that hard. Alpha male strategy to go when it comes to women. Ricky Smooth, money, travel, health, career, more than pursuing women. Okay. Okay. When it comes to the decoding, I got three people: you, Slide, and Lobo. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's like everything he ignores some of this shit. Yeah, he had that one episode where everyone in his comments was beat him up for talking like that. Oh, interesting. I don't watch it much, but there's so many more females going off on men. Yeah, and Basham Brothers. He was acting like we have to talk about everything. That's like the table. Uh, Foreign women are good options. Oh, okay. I don't know. I like sisters. I like American sisters. I tell you though, I have dated a lot of African women here. I don't know why African women like me, but they tend to like me. I've dated 3 or 4 African women. Like one girl I dated said she got here on the lottery. She was from Liberia and said she won the lottery and was able to bring her and her daughter over here. I was trying to get a job and for some reason they wouldn't hire. Women just don't care. Light skin, that's what it all depends on. Dudes is up to their games. High school girls and women in their early 20s come about looks. Most women only care about what's on your card. They see me as walking ATMs. Kind of, some of them do. Social media destroying the game. You said your friend was from Texas earlier. Oh, okay. I got you. Nick is down in Texas. That's why I said Texas. Okay, yeah, brother Nick is down in Texas. I got 2 cousins in Houston. Actually, 3. One has had a stroke, so he's not doing too good. Well, I mean, he's got to live in a rest home for the rest of his life. But it's 3 brothers down in Houston. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna give the divination for today. Oh, here we go. And the color for tomorrow is this is number 8, Lamont. rabbit, qualities, harmony, starseed, beneficial combinations, way shower, octave, expanded love, gateway to the fifth dimension, star-crossed relationships, star path, cascading fireworks, number 8, harmonic resonance, twilight, blue and gold, um, herbs, comfrey, blazing star, flowers, iris, Dutch iris, flower essence, star jasmine, scent jasmine, stone, lapis, starseed crystal, star sapphire, fire element, directions from the south, archetypical self-doubt, not personal, feeling disconnected from the expanded essence of your essence, presence of your essence self, learning the lessons of disharmony. But the transformation will be drawing love to prune away the disharmony in your life. Cultivate harmony. Access your star seed essence and stand in the harmony of your full presence. Harmonic resolution. Wavelength fundamental beneficial combinations. Mantra, same position as manic. Hands forming an O at the level of the ears, forming forearms perpendicular, then move your arms out and releasing the O with the burst of the fingers. You know, I'm going to start doing some of this shit, showing these mantras off, because that's what Dr. Strange and them was doing. Meditation, I am ignition, cosmic milk seed, explosion of resonant sparks of the tapestry of God. Affirmation, I am my full presence now in the harmony of the stars. So Lamont, day 8. So if you want a little push, energy's coming from the south as far as manifesting. Couldn't go a show without equipment failure. Whooped its ass. So I'm gonna finish with Mora. Okay, yeah. Mora, this is from the Time Walkers. Mora, it all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland, and they knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the Great Serpent, which is the Milky Way. To all my relations, to all who watch me, friends, I am another yourself. And rest well, everyone. Remember, a bed is shaped like the sacred ball field, the creation ball field. Your bed is shaped like that. And so, as you lay across your carpet to the universe, remember that's part of it. And we are multicultural, multi-dimensional beings. Caught the trees today. Remember I was saying I saw my hand move like they show slow motion? I caught the trees doing that shit. I caught the trees because it was cold, windy, and a motherfucker. And I caught the trees when they was coming. I was seeing the blurs. I was catching the blurs, you know, I'm catching this reality shit, catching this shit. But I was catching the fucking blurs as the trees moving, just like I saw my hand do that shit. And I know that's from the She Legit. But as I saw my hand moving in slow motion, I saw these trees doing it in nature. And I'm seeing them actually, you know, I'm seeing the blur. You know, as these trees is moving, I'm seeing them, the blur of their movement, which we normally shouldn't see. So breaking this motherfucker down. And that's why I come here and share this, because I try to break this motherfucker down. You know, Jody gave me one of the best compliments. And it's like, the information is free. And of course, you know, you have to buy the equipment and stuff. I still got to get my computer fixed. But I chose to buy this equipment. And so I shouldn't be on here burdening people. If people like to put in, that's great. I appreciate all the support of the people I've got. I'm surprised I've got as much support as I have, and I appreciate it. I dearly do appreciate it. But that's not ever going to be my main message. I ain't no rich person. I don't come on here like I'm rich. Yeah, I like wearing clothes and shit, and I got gold, but it's, you know, I drive a 20, my car is from 05. So my car is 20 some years old. My daughter said, yeah, you got the raggediest one that picks everybody up. Well, okay. But the motherfucker get me where I'm going. It gets me where I'm going. So I pick somebody up. It'll get them where they're going, where we got to go, and it'll bring you back. I've always dressed nice. If I was catching the bus, I would dress nice. Shit. When I got done with my divorce, I crashed my car. I had to catch the bus down to the court in a motherfucking suit. I'm on the motherfucking goddamn suit on. Cause I gotta sit in front of these people and, bust this professional shit out. But you know what? When they gave me everything I asked for and gave me custody of my children, you think I felt bad? Matter of fact, I picked up a chick going home that night. She was impressed with the suit. It was Tommy. But no, I remember the feeling leaving. And I felt, because I was dressed in a suit, where I felt awkward going after winning my shit and walking up out of that motherfucker and got everything I wanted. Shit, I was walking like George Jefferson. George Jefferson, trying to get that air and shit. So I felt great. Yeah, absolutely. What I have is enough. Now, I'm crazy about clothes, but I'm thankful for everything I have. I don't pine. I try to manifest and getting closer and closer and closer with that, even that, manifesting. And so keep that kind of thing going. So again, till we meet again tomorrow, I'm gonna try to bring PJ on tomorrow. I'm gonna work during the day, so I might have to test it. So if you see me come on early, is just to try to test to see if I can get the link, figure out how to do it. So once I see my son, he'll probably help me and I'll figure it out. So we'll try to do it tomorrow. So I'm so sorry I didn't have PJ on. Read my soul. We supposed to get together too. We both love shoes and stuff. And yeah. So everybody, I am Big Pontiac. And this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you for coming on my galactic patio. So till we meet again, say less.